Perfect. Oh, ha. Perfect. All right.
Welcome to coaching and virtual shit.
All the things. I'm Crystal. So I have been coaching for almost 2 years now, and then I've known Lindsay or worked with Lindsay since we hung out together in Arizona this year.
Yeah.
At the leadership retreat. So excited to be on this call with you, Lindsay. Jacked up. I'm gonna share like all the things in a really small package because I will get really long-winded. So if I'm gonna glance at the clock, just keep myself going. Okay.
Totally. Cool. I'm the same way. I get ranting, and just a little backstory on myself. I'm Lindsay. I've been coaching for about like 2.5 years, but truthfully only for like one full solid year. I've like always used it as an accountability piece, but never really taken it to the level that I have now today. So it's been like super fun and a great way to learn how to like personally grow and not just like be a coach. So yeah.
Cool. So I'll just share a little bit about me, and then Lindsay, you can kind of do the same, and we'll go into our Q&A at the end that you guys have requested from us. So I know it's been asked. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So my name's Crystal. I got married a few years ago, but me and my husband Adam have been together for I think over 10 years or like close to. So we've known each other, and we've definitely grown in some ebbs and flows from like the college, high school days to being an old lady and sleeping at like 8 p.m. at night. But I went to school for healthcare administration, so I used to run nursing homes. Got super burnt out, did not put my fitness first or like myself as a priority at all. I mean, I was working 24 hours, 7 days a week. Oh, and the phone was ringing if I wasn't working, just constant. So I knew that I was just like, I was burnt out, and I had only been in the field for a couple of years. So that's kind of what got me. I think that you have to go through some darkness to kind of go and find your light, right? So that's kind of like what spun me into, okay, something's not right. What can I do? And then I stumbled upon my coach, Carly, who I watched for so long. And she was doing the things that I love, traveling, dog mom. I mean, I've got 2 dogs and a little adopted one from my sister for a little while. Always been a dog mom, and just kind of love the idea of being able to be there for animals. And now my babes, I have a 3-month-old baby, almost 4 maybe. So the goal always was to kind of be home or be able to be home with like the dogs and like be able to travel and be flexible. And then Jonathan came along, and then it kind of all shifted to, all right, I have a child, and goal now is to just kind of be with him as much as I can and like be present. And all of those tools and things that I learned was through coaching. So when I finally decided to start coaching, kind of like Lindsay, it took me a bit to use it started as accountability because I was just burnt out, fatigued, like what am I doing with my life, to transition to, okay, this is actually a means to like being home with my little. So that's kind of a little bit about me. I just want to make sure I didn't really miss anything. I was always kind of a gym babe. So I definitely hear that from a lot of people, like, oh, I love going to the gym. I'm not accountable at home. I have to get out of the house. Like, yeah, same here. And I think it took Adam a year before he stopped going to the gym. And actually, it probably was COVID. It took Adam COVID to work out with me at home. And he ended up being my accountability when I was going through like the sickness and pregnancy and being, I'm not doing this anymore. I need some accountability. Like, he was another add-on that layered onto everything. So I was always a gym baby, always doing all the fad diets. Like, if there's some detox, like I've done it, for sure, but I've always been really into holistic, natural. So, I mean, I think I always forget, but I think I went like 7 or 10 days, like just drinking water. Like, that was fun. Like, as long as people tell me that like you can live through it and your body can do it, I'm like, I want to try it. Okay. I don't believe you. So that's kind of been my journey. And then finding some balance is where I'm at right now. So just a little bit about me, and yeah.
I had no idea that you were a gym rat too.
Oh, for sure. Yep. But I was like an unhealthy one, like, because I love to rage. So I mean, there was times at like 1 a.m, me and my like roommates would go to the gym drunk and be like, we're gonna work out, we're going on spring break next year, like just random. But yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I'm just gonna spin right off that and a little backstory with me. I used to be that complete gym rat as well. Growing up, I played soccer competitively for until I was out of college. And then obviously like went into a gym rat phase. I used to try and carb cycle. I took hydroxycut. I did all of those things, those Skinny Mint teas and Skinny Mint gummies. I succumbed to buying 6 months worth of it because I just wanted to like feel good in my own skin. And it took a shift in my mind. Like there was a point when I had moved to Colorado already. And granted, I'm from Missouri, played soccer, moved to Colorado. I'm an adventure lover. If you cannot see my attire, I literally just came from skiing. Tracy, don't look, you're driving. But I had a season where I ended up blowing out my knee. I blew it out and I had to have 2 surgeries back to back. And I just, while I was going through the recovery process, I was like, what was I doing? What did I do wrong to like cause this to happen? Obviously, like the wear and tear from soccer, that's like probably number one culprit. But I was very unhealthy. I was drinking beers, snowboarding all day, going home and drinking more beers, eating pizza, repeat the process. Like it was a very unhealthy cycle I got into. And I was thankful enough to be stuck on a couch for a while with that, recovering from my knee surgery and like literally following Carly, probably how you did, Crystal. And I was just like, wow, she is doing some really cool shit. And it took me a long time to understand like her reasoning for posting so much, because I was 100% like, you're annoying. I didn't understand it at first, and then I started to see more and more value coming throughout her voice, and I was just like, wow, everyone can fucking do this shit. Like, this is really cool. So it took that whole scenario in my life to get me to just start working out from home. Up where we live in the mountains, gym memberships are expensive, so I wasn't even going to succumb to that. And it kind of just trickled into me being healthy, then starting to help people, seeing their successes, and just like continuing forward with that. Yeah, that's how I all got started. And then I just kind of saw like the power of actually like growing myself personally, not just like I need a 6-pack, because guys, I don't have 6-packs. It's not real. It's not obtainable. I sit and I have roles, and every fucking human has roles. Excuse my French, I'm so sorry. But it's taken a long time to get to where I'm at, to understand like coaching is more of a personal growth journey for your own self, not just physical and how like you look, but how you feel mentally from the inside out. So that's kind of like where I'm at too. Crystal, I know you're on the same level as me, where we've been doing it for long enough to where we're trying to find a balance with not just the whole fitness thing, but the whole fulfilling our lives and creating time freedom. So like you, for instance, can be with your child. And like for me, I want to be present for like my dogs and my husband and other things like that. But it does take hard work. And yeah, boom, I'm done.
I love it. I love every time we talk about playing soccer, because it's just like, oh my God, I forget we play soccer together. All the things, right?
Heck yeah. Tracy, so we do have a couple like questions that most people ask us a ton of, and it's just like kind of a repeated question. And we'll go in and just answer those relatively quickly. Once we answer those ones, Tracy, I know you're driving, but we'll unmute you. So if you have stuff that's popping up in your head, like just say it, because we would love to answer anything and all the questions that there might be. Cool? I know I can't see you, but okay. Crystal, do you want to start with the first one? Sure, whichever one. It doesn't matter whichever the first one is.
Sure, what would that be? All right. So I'll start with my favorite one. Because it really took me a hot second to commit to this as well. People always say to me, I can't, I'm not perfect in my fitness journey. I haven't reached my own goals. How am I supposed to help others? Yeah. And I'm going to spin off of Lindsay, how she mentioned, like, when we were following our coach, like kind of we've seen like the posting every day and the stuff. And at first, like, you're just like, okay, what is this girl doing? Like, you're annoying, stop it. Or, you're being weird. But really, anytime you think those things of other people, it's literally thoughts that you have with your own issues. Just want to put that out there for everyone as well, because I've been there, right? So kind of talking about not perfect in your fitness journeys, that's kind of the brilliance of being able to share where you are. So when I have a crappy day or like a bad afternoon where I eat 2 cookies and I take a nap and I don't go anywhere, like, this isn't a time when I need to like go inward and be negative. It's a time where I just need to share and be surrounded by like positive, and that's what it gives you that positivity to like surround yourself in, and you get to share and grow from that. Like, I can't tell you how many people have related to me or connected to me because of depression or anxiety. Like, it's not like I'm going out there trying to promote depression and anxiety. No, it's kind of unveiling the shield and talking about these things. And that's what coaching gives you, is it gives you kind of the direction and the power to share where you are, and then it inspires other people to not hide or kind of go into their own selves, when honestly, when you're in a down spiral, you need to reach up, you need to grab for help. It's not about kind of isolating. So I think whether you think that you're in a bad place in your journey or you're just not at your goal fitness weight, like, nobody cares when me or Lindsay get our 6-pack abs one day. Like, nobody cares. It's not about that. It's literally just the fact of showing up every single day and what it is that we're doing to kind of find purpose and fill ourselves up. So I get really worded and excited, but that is kind of what I always want to share, where people relate to you where you are. It's not about you're going to be here eventually one day. It's relating to those.
Come here. Sorry, my dog is so annoying.
You have a dog.
I have 2.
Be careful, your dog barks, all 3 of my monsters might hear, and then we're all in trouble.
But it's so true how you said that. Like, being able to share and like use a platform to be relatable is like, it's gold. Like, so many people can connect to you, because I will tell you this, I've seen so many people with perfect looking bodies, and maybe that's photoshopped, I don't care. And I just kind of look at it and I'm just like, I'm proud of them. I'm stoked for them, but I don't want to be them. You know what I mean? And it's because it's not as relatable, because we all sit down and have roles. We all don't have those like perfect picturesque morph things that I know that everyone's like succumbed to. Like, I've definitely like brought myself down because of that kind of stuff. So it's awesome that we can share our stories and like be vulnerable, so other people can like reach out to us and like grow from there. Next question that we get a lot. Sorry, my dogs are so distracting whenever they bark. So a lot of other questions I know myself and Crystal get is like, it looks like you guys do a lot of stuff. Do I have to do that much stuff? Absolutely not. Like, and you have to remember, like, when you decide to start helping women, and let alone helping yourself, just like growing, your journey is going to look 100% different than everyone else's, especially when you start out. You might spend 5 minutes in your day to connect with one person. You might spend 10 minutes to invite 3 people that you were so scared to like be like, you should do this with me. It looks so different when you first start out and when you progress throughout and start growing more and more. Obviously, like, it is your own business. So like, you make your own hours. If you want to pour in a bunch of time, you have the ability to do so. But if you want to give, obviously, just like the time of your workout and maybe reading for 10 minutes a day for personal development, because that helps so dang much, as long as you pick a book that's going to work for where you're at in your life, that's fine. It's about your journey and your personal growth. And you can use coaching as an accountability tool, having some of your best friends do it with you, or you can use it to have just the community alongside of you. So people say, like, I know you make beautiful graphics, Crystal. I like have gotten like okay with graphics too, but that's not what coaching is. It's the grunt work that we do is just talking with people, being real with people. And you can spend 5 minutes doing it. You could spend 2 hours doing it. It is all your choice and how you're feeling. There's days where I spend 0 time doing it because my mindset's not there. If my mind's not there, I'm not going to go and reach out. I'm going to wait for that day where it feels good, which should hopefully be the next day because I kicked the stupid mindset out. But yeah, every day looks different. And again, you can do as little or as much as you want.
Love that. Yes. And I'll totally like spin off to talking even like the idea, the concept of like power pockets. If you've ever heard of like somebody, if you ever heard like giving a task you want to get done to the busiest person. Okay. So, I mean, I've worked in 3 jobs, worked in 3 jobs, going to school full time and like filled in and gotten things done that like today I would look back and be like, what? Or, when preparing for Jonathan, okay, I was the busiest pregnant lady ever. So that meant that, okay, I'm going to have to sit here and for 10 minutes I'm plugging in over here. For 10 minutes I'm plugging over here. It's not, I get to sit down for 4 hours a day and work my business. And kind of that kind of spins with how much time you dedicate to this is kind of how much you're going to get back. So if you've ever seen me or anybody, any coaches post kind of giving yourself a promotion. Okay. So we literally get paid by the amount of people that we help. Okay. And if somebody comes in and you can't control how people are going to commit to themselves, but you can share with them all the tools that we have applicable so they can be successful. So it's kind of all about putting those prompts in place the same way that you hopefully got put into place or will be by Lindsay or I. So just kind of know that you can't control how others are, but you can share everything that you already have and kind of work through this. So that's kind of what this call is all about, is like sharing what we've been given, because this is like a gift. Okay. Like if you have something that you love, like, don't you want your best friend or your sister or your mom to do that? Like, so it's kind of just trickling into the fact of the amount of time that you commit is also the amount of compensation that you get back. And it's okay if you're not looking to be full-time and stay at home with your babes, or you don't want to be full-time so you can go skiing every day like Lindsay, who's a salon, so she's not full-time. But you know what I mean? Like,
I love doing hair.
She does love doing hair. And she's done my hair, not today, obviously. But yeah, so that's kind of how the compensation works. It's by how many people you help, whether your goal is 3 people that month or 10 people that month. And then it's kind of either working them through their fitness journey or working them through their fitness journey with them. And these can correlate, go side by side. You can bounce back and forth, whether they're looking to just do fitness and jump into coaching and then maybe they fall back. Like, this is the journey that we're in. So I'm not going to go into too much more detail. I don't know if Lindsay, if there's anything I missed.
Yeah. The only thing I would say, because I know a lot of people always ask, they're like, well, how much do you get paid per person? And I just break it down super simple. When I first started coaching, I wanted to pay for my shakes. That's what I wanted to do to start. And that's kind of where, like, you start with smaller goals and you progress, whatever. Mm-hmm. I wanted to pay for my shakes. I knew I needed to help 3 people every month. That's how I would get my shakes paid for, and my coaching fee that I pay for my coach office. So I just knew if I helped 3 people, I would get all my stuff paid for, which was around $150, give or take, however you look at it.
Perfect.
Yeah. Super simple.
I love
the compensation plan, to be honest, I still don't fully understand it. And that's okay. I'm sure one day I will just make my husband read it more and make me understand it. But at this point in time, I just like helping people, and the fact that I do get paid and I see an increase because of the little things that we put forward, it kind of just like lights my fire a little bit more, because I'm like, ooh, what can I pay for next week?
Love that.
Yeah. Let's see. How do we get paid? I don't share like you do. That's a good question.
Yeah, we kind of covered it a little bit.
We did. I think we did. I'm gonna unmute Tracy and see if she has just random stuff she wants to ask us. Cool.
Okay, perfect.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi.
Hi.
I know you can't see me.
That's
I
totally.
totally
okay.
lost track of time. I was doing my horse's feet, and I'm like, oh my God, it's 5 o'clock. I gotta go home.
You're totally good.
Yeah, totally fine. Seriously, ask us any questions you might have. I know you're Crystal's. What are you? Crystal's sister?
Sister. Yep.
Hey, sis.
Also one of my coaches. So we've been able to run this business together, which has been fun. And then we both kind of watched each other like grow in certain areas and like run after the other one. So it's been really
yeah.
Awesome. So Tracy, do you have any questions or kind of what we've said so far?
Okay, so I do so the biggest thing that I run into is, so a lot of my friends are like, we're all horse riders. So the biggest thing I run into is we're all so active and we're throwing hay bales. We're busy people. So the biggest excuse I get is, well, I'm active enough. Like, I don't need something like this. So my question is, like, how would you like respond to that or kind of get them interested in like joining you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one because first I have a client. She's 50, almost 60 years old, and she runs horses. She rides them for like barrel races and throws so much hay. And she came to me because I do her hair, and she's like, what do you do to work out? And I told her about Beachbody. And I would say what I've found is like, even though you do so much work, because she's like, well, I don't think I need to do more stuff because I'm doing all of that. I was like, there's little muscles that you probably don't realize that you're not using that could help strengthen your core and give you more stamina for what you're already putting out. I started her with Lift 4 because it is a lifting based program and it was 4 days a week. So she felt like she could weave that into her schedule. But even doing like the feel, felt, found method is really good because you're a horse lady. You were just with your horses. So you've been doing these workouts probably. You could go in saying like, I feel you. I felt the same exact way. What I found is that blah, and this is why I think you should do it, or whatever it may be. It's very helpful because you're the same person. You do horse stuff. Like, you understand, but you also see the benefit of moving your body, even if it's only 30 minutes from home, even though you know you're about to go throw a bunch of hay because it's heavy as shit.
Love that. And Tracy, too, what I would say is as well, like, so first of all, I mean, you are literally the picture of somebody who has been riding horse all their lives. Like, you know your way around a horse. We've been active throwing hay and whatnot. Like, you are the picture of that. And then just look at your transformation in the last year. Like, me and Lindsay were joking about not having abs and stuff. Like, you have abs. Like, and you felt riding a horse and having that trunk control. Like, you don't get that just naturally because we have big quads, the big muscles in our quads, and like all of our bigger muscles take over when we're throwing hay bales. We don't squat down and let those small muscles engage because your hips get lower than your knees. No, you're doing it the easiest, most efficient way possible. So when you're actually doing just a 30-minute workout, whether that's a day or 4 times a week or whatnot, when you're actually doing those intentional movements, you're literally conditioning yourself just like you would condition a horse. Horses walk around in the field all day. So why do they have to be conditioned every day? Because you need to go through that practice of moving your body intentionally. And that's kind of what we do with the horses. So like, I would say that too, to spin with Lindsay's, and then talking about those things on your stories or kind of however you relate to your people. Because that is something that I've heard as well. Like, I'm already active. So it's like, okay, so then if you're already active, what piece is it that you're missing? Is it that 20 minutes of yoga in the morning to like calm your mind? Because you and I are having a conversation. Like, there's something that you're missing, and what is it? And then trying to get to that place maybe. I don't know. I hope that helps.
No, it did. I always forget about like the feel, felt, found. Like, I think that's like a genius idea. And that did help, because I'm surprised, I used to think the same way, like, what do I need to work out for? But I cannot believe how much my workouts have improved, like, my horse riding. Like, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
So I just got to get people to understand that.
And you've shared that with me, and so like every time I see somebody with like a photo on a horse, like I like zero in on them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like if you're not as fit as you possibly can be, you are not having the best ride that you are, because I've seen like you ride, I mean, I don't barrel race, so like I've felt how different it is just to be on a horse and like just be like in control of your body versus just kind of showing up. You know, if you've ever sat at even your office chair, like you're either sitting there showing up or you're there, you know, like just having that feeling.
Yeah. I love using my stories for the feel, felt, found method. Like if I ever have someone come at me with an excuse to why they can't do something, I'm just like, I'm going to use their excuse because I'm sure other people have given that excuse. I'm going to just really quick in like 2 to 3 slides do a feel, felt, found method and put in enticing words on my story to like help them realize like, oh, I can do that too.
Yeah. And you never know who that's going to reach. Like it could be somebody that you hadn't even been talking to, Tracy, somebody else who sees that and it's like, I've been thinking that. I mean, we're never alone in these thoughts.
No.
Yep.
No. Yep. And on a really random side note, sometimes my husband thinks I share too much. And I'm just like, but one person might not have seen it yesterday, so I'm going to reshare it.
That's funny. I have like the same thought about myself. Like I'll be typing something. I'm like, I can't believe I'm sharing this. I'm like, but this is growth. Like if I feel odd about something, it's obviously growing me, because if it wasn't in my comfort zone yet, it's going to be pretty damn quick.
Yep. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my biggest drawback. That's what I need to work on, is getting like uncomfortable. Like I need to start talking to the camera, because I'm horrible with that. I just got to get uncomfortable and be more vulnerable and put myself out there, because I'm still holding back.
Yeah. Yep. And like you're still holding back, so that'll affect like how your business grows in itself. But then also like if you are definitely not the only person afraid of talking on the phone or like to the stories or like in public. I mean, every time I go on a live, every time I do one of these calls, I have some nerves. And I teach yoga. And I remember like, so every time I teach a yoga class, I have some nerves. And I mean, I've been teaching yoga for a few years now, right? And my teacher, I would say to her, I'm just like, I just can't get over these nerves. I mean, it can be anywhere from just like 5 minutes before a class to 5 hours before a class, where like I'll go through and I'm just so not excited. And then it happens. And then I'm in this yoga high. And then after class, everyone's just amazing. And I just had the best time of my life. I'm like, but I hate that nervous piece. Like I can't get over it. And my yoga teacher said, she goes, I think there'll always be a little bit of nerves for any great teacher, because it means that you're being purposeful and intentional, but you're also pushing yourself outside of your boundaries. So I really appreciated that, because I mean, she's been teaching for 20 years and comes in like coming off of a unicorn fairy and just like, what? She's like, I get nervous. I'm like, what do you mean? Stop lying to me.
Yeah. Well, there's a podcast I listened to and it had talked about like when you first start doing stuff, you will get nervous. You're always going to have that. Over time, when you grow and then you have that opportunity to do that same thing again that you were just so nervous for before, you don't get necessarily nervous. You get excited because you're fucking pumped about what you're about to like give to someone, share to someone, whatever it may be. So know that like, don't do this. Never scroll back to Crystal or anyone who's coached for a long time, because you'll just see like where we started and where we've grown to. It takes time. Yeah. I just got uncomfortable. But, yeah.
It's human nature.
Yeah, it is. Totally.
Yeah.
Any little last minute questions?
No, that was the biggest thing, is just, how you get past that, push past that, like being uncomfortable, and a few excuses that I'm like, what do I tell these people?